Welcome to the Success Journey Show. Let's travel together through the lives of individuals on the road to success.
Yo, what's going on, travelers? It is Ricky Venters and Marlon Madden, and we're back with you. That's right, for another week of the Success Journey Show. Man, we're so glad to be with you today. Marlon, what's good, bro? How you doing today, man?
I'm doing well, man. As you see, my face is shaved, people.
There you go, man. You got to go
so
back.
I know you saw last week's episode, and you're saying, man, that guy is butt crack nasty. That Marine.
Who was he repping?
But I had to embody that quarantine, man. That's why I had it.
Dude, I like that red shirt there, man. What's that red shirt? Yeah. What you got
Dream,
there?
Drive, discipline, diligence. That's our shirt right there. Hey, I'm going to go ahead before you ask me to do it. I'm going to do it. If anyone can find a platform that we're not on, and I think it's doable now because of the pandemic. There's been a lot of platforms that have been coming around that I don't even know that. Sometimes I'm like, wow, that's a podcast platform. Hit us up. The successjourneyshow.com. That's our webpage. The Success Journey Show on YouTube, on Instagram, and on Facebook, and on Twitter. It's success_show. We're trying to push a lot of our content to Facebook because we're actually doing a video now because of how everything has changed. So definitely hit us up there. If you listen to this on any other platform and you're not on YouTube, just click over to YouTube so you can see how I shaved and everything, and then we can enjoy the show.
Yeah, I want to add a little thing to it, man. If you went on every platform and you found us on all those platforms, but you still want a shirt, go ahead and leave a review on the platform that you were looking on and shoot us a snapshot of that review. Send it to our email. You ready for it? I'm gonna give you a second. Ready? All right. successjourneypodcast@gmail.com. successjourneypodcast@gmail.com. And give us your name. Send us a little snapshot of the photo that you took of your review, man. And we'll get you a shirt so that you can rep dream, drive, discipline, or diligence, discipline, or discipline, diligence, everywhere you want to put it. It's all in there, 4 Ds, right? So listen, man. Oh, man, I tell you, man, it's so excited to see you guys again for another week, man. We hope you really enjoyed your last week's episode, man. I got corrected. I got, the Marines got on me, because I was calling him a drill sergeant, and he's actually a drill instructor. Oh, wow. Forgive me. Forgive me. Drill instructor, going out there, man. But yeah. So, man, we had a great time last week with Jose, and, just following that up, man, we know we're going to have an even better time, not even better time, even more of a great time, not even more of a great time, an additional time. I don't want to put levels on our guests, man. All of our guests are great, man. They all bring some unique perspective. Why? Because we're all on a journey, and all of our journeys look different. All of our journeys have different perspectives, but we always point back to the 4 Ds, the dream, the drive. Come on, say it with me. Discipline and
diligence.
That's what we point to and pull out of all of our guests. So we told you we had a fire lineup coming for you guys this year, and we held true to that again. But Marlon, man, before we even go into that, man, I got to say, man, I appreciate all of the prayers that have been out there for my family. My wife, by the time you hear this, she would have gone through surgery. A few months ago, I shared on a platform that she was diagnosed with cancer. And man, it's something that we've been dealing with over these past, 6 months, but we've been dealing it in a way where we've been focused on life, fulfilling those, that number one word there, dreams, right? Dreams that we've had as a family, dreams that we had as a husband and wife, things that we want to do with our children. We're like, you know what? Why are we waiting? Let's do it now. Why? Because life is not guaranteed for anybody, or the quality, not even the life, the quality of life that you want is not guaranteed for anyone, man. So we've been having a great time, man. Just a little quick thing, I told you guys we bought a house, we're building a house. man. So we finally got the sticker. You know, they give you the sticker.
I saw that.
Put on the lot sign. It's crazy because they weren't going to do it because they were moving so fast, right? They already started putting the houses up on my street and everything. So they're going to go, oh, let's just whatever. We don't need. But we were like, yo, man, we want to put our sticker on too, man. It's part of the process.
Go through the phases, man.
Let's skip the steps, man. So, man, we put our sticker on, man, a couple of weeks before they start digging on our site, man. So we're extremely excited, man. But I will tell you, though, man, it's, I got some sticker shock stuff, trying to get the furniture. I was telling Marlon about that, man. I didn't know furniture cost that much, man. It's like, wow, take it for granted. But hey, we're in a different place, man. And man, just really, again, grateful for you guys, man, just sticking through us on this journey. And we're just looking to have a great testimony on the back end of all of this. So go ahead, Marlon.
Just one thing that I'm gonna share something. I don't want to take the air out the room or the air out the ball or however you want to put it. But today I got a call from a friend that said, I can't take it no more. The Marine, fellow, same rank as me, been in the Marine Corps probably 1 year less than me. I'm 18, he's 17. And I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to put him out there like that. And he called me and said, I can't take it no more. It's stressful. He went through a thing and he's like, I don't like feeling depressed every day. And, I was on, if anybody know me, I'm very straightforward. I'm not super compassionate. And I was on the phone with him, just, brother, you mean so much to us. Forget about the Marine Corps stuff. Forget about all that stuff. That's a phase in your life. But this right now, life itself, you need to live it for your kids, for all this different stuff. So, people just check on some of your people that you have, because you never will know what somebody that they're smiling. Just like how you see me and Ricky here every day, every week, we're on here smiling. You don't know what we're going through. And a lot of times strong people, and he was like, man, I feel so bad because I'm supposed to be stronger than this. I said, listen, when Jesus was going through, and sorry to get religious with you guys, I said, when Jesus was going through, he said, Father, if it is possible, remove this cup from me. And I said, I know you don't think you're stronger than Jesus. Mm-hmm. And he didn't want to go through what he had to go through in order to save the world. So don't ever think you're too weak to ask for help. And I tell them sometimes it's the strong people, because they have to hold up everything for everybody else, right, that they forget to take care of themselves. Correct. So I spoke to him, and last I checked on, he's fine. And I told him, even though he's fine, go sit down with someone, because sometimes you need to talk to somebody out your circle that's not judgmental, and talk to that person and have that person sit down with you, and you can tell them all what's going through your head, and that person will not judge you. So sometimes it's good to talk to a third party. I can't believe I'm actually saying that, because I don't really believe in psychiatrists and all that stuff, and that's a different story. But I told him, go sit down with somebody. We have a lot of different resources in the Marine Corps. The military, one source is a big thing. Free outside clinic that you could use, 13 different sessions that you have with professionals. That's what it's good for you. Yeah. Not to take the air out of the room, but just to touch on that subject, because it's a real subject. Yeah, absolutely, guys. We want to provide whatever resources we can too. So if you want to reach out to us, and we can connect you to, especially the resource that Marlon just mentioned, we'd be more than happy to do that. And other resources that we can. We know a lot of people in different spaces. So, man, reach out to us. And but let's get this journey started. Journey started. Yep. So Success Journey World, like we had promised, we have another phenomenal guest, and that's none other than Alvin Davis. Alvin, thank you so much for joining us, man. We're so excited to have you, aka the Tumble Doctor. Man, Alvin, man, just share a little bit about with our travelers, man, who you are, where you came from, man, what you're doing right now, man.
Got it. Okay, so everybody, I am from the warm, sunny state of Michigan. I grew up there. Ended up going to college there. I went to college at Michigan State University. Okay. I got a degree in microbiology and molecular genetics, and then I went on to medical school. I went to medical school at Howard University. I did that for a year. When I first entered, it was my passion. And I was absolutely in love. Like, it didn't matter how much time was being spent, because it was my passion. So a lot of times I would forget what time I said I was going to go to bed, or I'd forget that, oh, I didn't eat dinner yet. I'd forget those things. And as the year went on, I joined a cancer board. So basically what a cancer board is, a bunch of doctors come together, you got pharmaceutical reps in there, and they discuss cancer patients. And just the outlay of the land, the pharmaceutical reps would give us like lunch or dinner, depending on what time it was. I'm a starving medical student, so it's like I'm hungry. You know what I mean? Like, I'm ready to eat. I'm ready to eat. But then one thing that I started to realize, I'll never forget, it was the first meeting, I didn't eat anything. The second meeting, I was like, all right, nobody's really, I'm gonna dig in. And as I'm sitting there and I'm eating, I look up and they're putting up a little PowerPoint presentation and they're talking about a terminally ill patient. I'm not hungry anymore. And the demeanor that I saw from the physicians in the room, the reps in the room, it was just like, this is every day. So by the end of that year, I realized that I wasn't fulfilled. And the reason that I wasn't fulfilled is because my calling wasn't to work with sick people. I wanted to work with healthy people. So I realized that. At the same time, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. My parents, much to their chagrin, I decided to drop out. They were like, oh my goodness, what is he going to do?
First doctor.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Absolutely. So I actually made the decision. I looked myself in the mirror one day. I said, if doctors got paid what teachers got paid, would you be a doctor? And I'll never forget, I laughed at my reflection in the mirror. Like, there's no way I would go through this. So then I said, okay, well, if you're financially motivated, then let's work in the financial realm. So what I ended up doing, I applied to business school. I got in, went back to Michigan State, and that's where I got my MBA in finance. I started working in banking, and the money was great. I'll never forget, I had a client come up to me. I was working, and he was like, hey, man, come outside. And I was like, I'm working right now. He's like, come outside, man, come outside. And I was like, all right, I got to go outside. You know, I do a lot of work for this guy. And he had a brand new Cadillac. He was like, you got me that. And I was like, okay. You know, that's awesome to hear. But at that point, something clicked in my mind, like, that's not why I'm here either. To help the rich get richer. You know what I mean? Like, that's not I would think of myself more as a Robin Hood than to help the rich get richer. So at that point, something clicked in my mind as well. So I had kind of been coaching a little bit. Actually, flashback a little bit. I was in college. This was like my freshman or sophomore year. A group of young ladies came up to me and they were like, hey, we know that you can flip. Would you mind spotting us on some flips? And not gonna lie, this was a very attractive group of young ladies. So, absolutely, no problem. I'm on it. So then they asked me, after we had that little session, they asked me to come to their practice. Come to find out, they were Michigan State cheerleaders. So I was like, cool, hey, I'm there. Right. So if the practice started at 5:30, I was outside at 4:30. Like, there you go. I'm here, I'm ready for it.
You need some water?
So at the end of that practice, everything went well. And all the girls came up to me. Everybody handed me $5. So there was like 30 girls there. I got $150 in like an hour and a half. I probably would have paid $150 to be a part of that practice. And I didn't know that anybody was actually going to pay me. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm kind of decent at this. Yeah. So as I was getting my MBA, I was also coaching on the side. When I started working after my MBA, I was coaching on the side. And then I eventually made the decision, like, you know what? I love coaching. While I'm coaching, I lose track of time. I don't know where I am. I'm just in this moment. I love it. So once again, I scared my parents to death and jumped off a cliff, moved out to Philadelphia and started Tumble Doctor. So that's where I am now.
Wow, dude.
Wow. I love that intro, bro.
Yeah,
that intro, it was like this.
Yeah, I had you on the edge of my seat, like, what's coming next with this?
Yeah.
So I mean, there's so many things we could pull out of that introduction, man. The first thing that pops off my mind is they said, hey, you knew how to flip. Like, what do you mean you knew how to flip? Were you training beforehand? Were you doing gymnastics? Like, how did they see you doing that stuff? Yeah.
Okay, so when I was in school that year, they had a 1 credit like class, and it was like a gymnastics class. So that's the situation that we were in. And growing up, I was a competitive gymnast my whole life.
Okay.
So that's where that comes from as far as that aspect.
Got you. Wow. Wow.
So give us a kind of a, because everybody's hearing your parents is saying every time you made that decision to not do exactly, they're like, oh my goodness. So give us a little dynamics of your family life, meaning house, what your parents' background and what kind of background you came up in.
Okay, so my parents are, let's just put it that my parents are academics. Very, very intelligent. Every single summer, it was like, yeah, I'm out of school. And the very next day, I had to wake up and probably do 2-3 hours of homework. From math to English. I'll never forget looking out the window and seeing my friends having a great time outside. And I'm stuck inside because I can't get this last math problem right. So my parents, I would say, they always gave me like freedom. And my dad told me a story maybe a year or two ago. And he said that I was 5 years old, he took me to a funeral. And he said this was the first time that death had ever happened while I was alive. And the guy that passed, I was one of his good friends. So my dad said he took me there with the intentions of, I'm going to teach my son about death. Like this is how my dad operates. Everything was like a parable for my father. I'm going to teach my son about death. So he said he took me to the funeral and, he's got his friends there or whatnot. And he kind of left me there or like standing there and went and was talking to different people. And he said he turned and looked and saw that I was just like staring and thinking. So he was like, cool, got him. I'm going to go, teach my son about death. Yeah. So he said, he came up to me and he was like, what are you thinking? And I was like, Dad, I think I can do this. He was like, what are you talking about? You think you can do this? And according to my father, I said, there's a service going on over there because we're in a funeral home. There's a service going on over there. There's a service going on over there. There's this service, and there's another room over there where they could have another service. I was like, Dad, I think I want to own funeral homes.
So he did teach you about death and money.
So he said his whole point was like completely ruined. He said he didn't know what to say. But he did say in that moment, he was like, I knew that my son was like business oriented. For a long time after that, that was like my mindset. I'm going to own funeral homes. I want to own chains. Like there's one business that will always be around. People are always going to die.
Thank you, Father.
Yeah, no doubt. Absolutely. So I would say that my household, my parents had the highest expectations, almost even demands. But before they wanted me to be a doctor, they wanted me to be happy. But that took me a while. Like I ran. When I dropped out of medical school, I ran. I didn't want to call my parents. I didn't want to talk to them. I was nervous because I felt like I was going to let them down. And I didn't want to do that. And then same thing like switching. I felt like I was going to let them down. And I think that's one bit of advice I can give to everybody or anybody, watching and pursuing their passion. You have to be conscious of the people around you. But when it all comes down to it, if you're not happy here, you could appease everybody else around you. Right. Everybody else is like, yay, my son is doing this. My daughter is doing this. Such and such is doing this. Such and such is doing this. But if you're not happy, like, what's the point? And even earlier, you alluded, like, there are definitely successful garbage men. You know what I mean? Like, they're successful house cleaners. The title of the job is irrelevant to me. It's how happy are you? That's how I measure.
Correct.
Man, so you had that eureka moment. You're like, hey, I can do this. Like this training, this coaching thing. This is my lane. I know it wasn't just go out the next day and say, hey, I got a whole bunch of clients. hey, I can help you flip. I can spot you. I can do whatever. Like, how did that progression start with? Now you have your whole business mind, and now here's your baby that you want to grow. What did the beginning years of that look like for you?
Great question. Okay, so for the first year, from 2013, 2014, I worked full-time at a gym. Mm-hmm. And I would say after like 3 or 4, so the first 3 or 4 months, it was like towards the end of their season. So I was just there to help with whatever they wanted. And I was actually the tumbling director. So they wanted me to create a program for the gym. So once that season ended, I could like instill my curriculum. So what I did first and what I realized was a competitive advantage was that their conditioning, the athletes in the gym, their conditioning level was really, really low. So throughout the whole entire summer, all we did was condition. We didn't flip. We didn't do anything. I had them running miles. I'll never forget. They were like, Alvin, we have our little mini team, 5 and 6 year olds. They got to run the mile. I said, yep. Their parents will thank me for it too, because they go sleep like babies every single night. They sure are going to run that mile. Even if they got to walk a little, they're running the mile. So I received complaints after complaints after complaints. Everybody, all the parents complained. Athletes are complaining. After a while, the owners started complaining. I was like, listen, I know this is going to work. I was like, if it doesn't work at the end of the summer, if they don't come in here and they're not flying around the gym, then fire me.
Yeah.
But I believe in what I'm offering. So at the end of the summer, we start tumbling, and they were like, "Oh my goodness, we get to actually start tumbling." And exactly what I said. They had been training all summer long, running up hills, training in sand, running outside. Like they had gotten ready. You know what I mean? Like they were ready. So now they started tumbling, and it felt so easy to everybody. So when I saw that, and I believed, I knew that it was going to work. Yeah. But when I actually saw the tangible results, I was like, oh, it really does work. Yes. It really does work. So then I stayed at that gym. We had some success. Stayed at that gym till the following May. At that point, to be honest, I didn't feel valued 100%. And I always knew, I learned, I heard it in business school. I learned it growing up. Nobody can pay you like you pay you. Yes. So I was like, okay, I need to really, get this tumble doctor thing started. So I knew one of my big problems was that nobody knew me. So I was like, all right, that's fine. I went online. I spent a week doing this. I went online and I found every gym in the world with an email address. Whoa. I had a list I still have this list of 30,000 gyms.
Wow.
And I emailed 30,000 gyms in a week. And I mean, I probably slept, I don't know, maybe 2-3 hours a day. And I'm just Command C, Command V, Command C, Command V. Email everybody, right? And I told myself, I said, okay, we're going to play this as a numbers game because this is how my mind works. I was like, we're going to get a 1% response ratio. So if you email 30,000 people, 300 people are going to hit you back. That's probably more people than I can hit in a year.
Correct.
From those 300 people, I'm going to expect just a 1% response or conversion ratio where it will actually turn into me working with their athletes. So just give me 3 teams. All I need is 3 teams. I'm hungry. That's all I need. Yeah. So I think I ended up getting about 5. Most of them were in my area, but one was in Nova Scotia and one was in California. Okay. Oh, wow. So I was like, cool, here we go. So I hit the ground running. And for the next, from I'd say June 2014, let's just say from June 2014 to June 2015, it was just head down. I listened to Eric Thomas a lot, and he says, lean into your passion. I like to think of it not like leaning in. I was planking on top. I'm all in. So a lot of probably 4 or 5 hour nights. I would say that was probably the average that year as I'm trying to get myself out there. Yeah. So the following year, probably about April or May of 2015, send out all those 30,000 emails out again. At this point, my brand has started to get a little bit bigger. So instead of getting a 1% response ratio, I think I might have gotten 500 or 600 teams that emailed me back. And then from there, I had like 10, 20 convert to camps. So then it was like, oh, okay. we've got the momentum now. So again, just leaning in. Come 2016, I was like, I wonder what happens if I don't send out an email. I didn't send out an email. To be honest, I haven't sent out an email since. So
just email you now.
Oh, yes, sir. Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I love it, man. I love that because a lot of people will look on like your Instagram page and be like, oh man, he has close to 70,000 followers on his Instagram page. And man, how do I get that? You know, does he have some type of robot, you know, trying to build up, or is he doing this or doing that, trying to buy this and buy that? But it's like, yo, you put the sweat equity in for years. You know, you laid that groundwork, that foundation, and you just let that momentum build on itself to where you are right now. So people that are out there, you know, when you go to Tumble Doctor on Instagram or any other social media platforms or website where he's at, don't think that he just opened up the pages yesterday and was like, yo, let's go, guys. I got a couple flips I'm going to show you. Nah, man.
No way. And I've learned that a lot of people want it quick. And
talk about it.
One thing that I've learned is that, especially in today's society, we see things like these numbers, like, oh, he has this amount of followers or this amount of likes. What I've excuse my language, I don't use that word, either do or you do not. What I have done in my head, I've shifted my focus from, hey, I want to get a whole lot of likes to, hey, it's all about the quality of the content that I'm putting out. Mm-hmm. Because as long as I'm being consistent, and one formula that I've learned is that if you post 3 times a day on Instagram, like that's going to be, that will take you to a completely different level compared to posting twice.
You write that down. That's what we've been doing.
Yep. 3 times a day is the magic. And then also, and it's amazing because it's so easy at this point to be what I would say like lazy or even complacent. I remember back in the day when you have to write a report, you got to go into an encyclopedia.
Yeah.
You got to alphabetical, find that. All right, there's some information. I got to go to the library, look on one of them cards, find the book, and then, gather some information out. That's how you write a report. Now Google is the report writer. You know what I'm saying? Like Google is the research. There's so much information within Instagram as far as when is your following the most active? Like if you don't know when your following is the most active, then you're not posting most likely when they're the most active. And that I like to think of like commercials. I think about like Super Bowl commercials. Their placement of it is because certain commercials that you will see one time a year, maybe on YouTube a couple other times, that placement is because that's when the most people are watching. Yeah. So you want to do that with your own channels and study your demographic. So that's what I like do. It's not just a formula of, or just, I posted and then some went viral and then, I know for a fact, I know the times when my following is the most active on all of my platforms. And I'm going to cater to them as a result of that for those times. Wow. So it's not magic.
So another thing I want to ask you. So, most naturally, you're at a gym where you have everybody in there physically there. And then you said, I'm not feeling valued. But then you kind of took it out of that sphere to say, I'm going to email gyms around the world in order to get a team.
Yes.
Walk me through that process of what made you do that, vice just saying, I'm going to open a gym and people are going to come in, I'm going to flip with people.
Okay, so I knew that I wanted to travel. Up until that point, I had traveled, I guess, a lot compared to some people in my life, but I knew that I wanted to have the James Bond kind of hop on a flight, hop off, hop in the window. Like I wanted that. You know what I'm saying? I'm an 80s baby. I've seen too many shows. There's too many things. I wanted that. So that was kind of the mindset as far as emailing gyms. And just for me as a gymnast, as a coach, I don't look at, I look at failure a lot different than a lot of people. A lot of people will be like, I tried and then I failed. And now it's over. For me, through all the different tumbling skills that I've learned, like the only way you're going to get it is if you fall repeatedly.
Yes.
The only way you're going to master it is if you fall in more times than you can count.
Correct.
So I just wanted to hit the volume and hit all over the country because I knew there was a demand. And I wanted to hit the volume because I didn't want, if I emailed 5 gyms and didn't get a response back, then there's a chance for a part of my brain to be like, aha, you failed. But if I emailed 30,000 gyms, I'm not giving my brain that ammo to be like, no, or you failed. No, right. I got one response, brain. I won. This is success. So that was kind of the mindset. I like to tell people, you know, and I use the hashtag average to savage. Like you can have that average mindset. Yeah. You can be like, oh, my business plan didn't work, or oh, this didn't go through the way that I do, or I wanted it to. Or you can be like, bro, Howard Schultz tried to get a loan from 400 banks before he got a yes. Yes. So if I've only tried 20 times, and that means 400 times, and he's known around the globe, how can I expect to succeed? I got to at least go 400 times.
Yeah, I love it.
So that was the mindset.
Man. So a question I have for you, and it's for some of our listeners that, you know, they heard that, hey, you were a gymnast, you know, growing up. That's what you did. You know, during that time frame, growing up being a gymnast, did you, what was your level of competition? What was your level of energy that you poured into it? You know, did you, and the reason I'm asking that question because, you know, did you ever see later down in life that, wow, my passion, what I do in life is going to be connected to that moment when you were training when you were younger?
Amazing question. So I was in the gym. I was going to the gym probably 20 something hours a week, from maybe 7 on. So definitely was like an elite athlete. Never would I have ever linked my passion to a future career. I feel like in the confines of when I was growing up, it was like, hey, be this set thing, be that set thing, be this set thing. Not necessarily, hey, be whatever keeps a smile on your face.
Yes.
Like that wasn't really what people were teaching. They're like, be a doctor, make a lot of money. Be a businessman, make a lot of money. Be a teacher, take work. So and that's something that I encourage everybody. If you find, especially in this time of in day and age, if you know that there's something that you do and you lose yourself in it, you look at your watch like, oh my goodness, 3 hours went by. I've met people who are making 6-7 figures playing video games.
Oh my goodness.
Boom. So at this point in time, it's like, if it makes you happy, you can carve yourself out a niche as long as you're not willing to look at failure as like an end all, but more of a stop sign and just to reassess and look both ways before I go again.
Now, of course, it had to be with the passion. You had to form a business model, which thank God that you know, because I think a lot of times people have passion and that business model, they can't put that together because they don't have the background like you have that MBA with the finances. And then talk about that, and then talk about when it had to shift when the corona, because traveling, all the different things, how you had to make that shift. So talk about the business model before the corona, and then talk about the business model that you had to go into.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay, so there's a quote. They say, no man is an island. And for me, the biggest thing that really catapulted Tumble Doctor was getting a consultant. Because my consultant made me do things that I didn't want to do. One thing, a dream board. If you don't wake up every single day and you don't wake up and see your dreams, then you're playing yourself. That's what I like to tell people.
Dave Dash, talk about it.
Yeah, there was a story of a guru. He said something about this guy was like, yeah, you know, I want to master the world, basically. And the guru was like, let me see your dreams. He was like, huh? He was like, come back when you can show me your dreams. Did it again. He was like, come on, guru, help me out. I'm gonna be a master. I'm gonna master the world. Show me your dreams. Let me see your dreams. Couldn't produce them. So then he asked him, he was like, you know, you keep asking me to show me your dreams, show you my goals. Like, how do I do that? And the guru went in his pocket and pulled out his dreams and his goals. Some of them were checked off. And he's like, this is how you show me. If you're not walking around with them in your pocket, then you're probably not achieving them as fast as you would if you just had them in your pocket. Because every time you go in there, you're going to feel them there. And I was like, ooh. So for me, like having a dream board and writing out a dream board and doing short term. So this is how I have my athletes do it too. There's 3 sections. First section, short term goals. Into 2021, name 3 things that you can do. They're not impossible, but it's going to require effort. It's going to require you pushing yourself over the next 11 months. And then the next one is midterm goals. So that'll be into 2022. Once again, you have to push and you have to complete the short-term goals to be able to complete the midterm goals. And then long-term goals. You got 3 for your whole entire life. For me, when I did that for Tumble Doctor, I woke up for a good week or 2 and I would look at it like, man, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do those things. I don't want to do them. But then after a while, it started to drive me crazy because I put check boxes there and nothing was getting completed. And I'm the type of person things need to get done. Yeah. So after about a week or 2, I started working towards it and then I checked something off and then I was addicted. And after filling out that dream board, checking off everything off that dream board, Tumble Doctor was an international brand at that point. Prior to that, Tumble Doctor wasn't known. That was even before I sent out the email. So for everybody, I would say getting somebody who is going to tell you what you don't want to hear, but what you need to hear.
Yes, sir.
It's tough to do it by yourself. But if you got somebody right there with you, it's worth the investment. As far as transitioning, so this is kind of interesting for me. I was in Las Vegas in the middle of March. I flew out there March 11th. I was in the gym. March 12th, I flew to Vegas. I was there for a birthday party with my cousin. And then I was going to go to the Pacific Northwest for a month to work with some gyms out there. Yeah. So after about 4 or 5 days, it's starting to get real. And, Vegas is Vegas. Yes. And to watch Vegas go from Vegas to, it got real. Yeah, it got scary out there. They started turning off machines. And at first, when it was like the short quarantine, I was like, I'm just going to stay here. And then I'm going to go to the Pacific Northwest. Yeah. And my hotel called me a couple of days later, like, you got to get out. We're closing. So I was like, so they gave me 3 days. And then I realized, I was like, man, this might be longer than like just 2 weeks. This might be a month or 2. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I remember thinking, all right, I have my rainy day fund, but I'm not trying to touch it. Yeah. I need to pivot, transition. What can I do? So I created a virtual program with 3 other coaches that I work with. So started that virtual program out there in Vegas, flew back here, kept running that virtual program. And then from there, it was, I started doing virtual private lessons. See, for what I realized as far as transitioning, I realized the value add. God has blessed me with the ability to help people believe in themselves. For whatever reason, however it is, I can help people believe in themselves.
It's your spirit, man. I can see when you're talking, you have that fire.
Yes.
Wow.
Straight through.
Yeah. Woo! So I was like, okay, I've had people from all over the world ask me over the past couple of years, hey, will you work with my athlete virtually? And I've told people no, because I didn't believe that I could do it. Yeah. When Corona hit, I didn't have a choice. I had to start doing it. Yeah. So long story short, I've just been looking for my value, and I have not been in the gym since March 11th. I still have not been. I have been able to, and this is I give 100% credit to God. This is all him. Yeah. I've been able to sustain, make more money in 2020 than 2019, being at home compared to being in the gym and traveling. So as far as that, it was just, for me, it's the same. Relentless. There's a book called Relentless. Oh, I cannot think of that guy's name. Michael Jordan's trainer.
Oh my goodness, I want to shoot myself. I love Michael, no homo. But
that book. There was a lot of things I never understood about myself growing up. Like, if I do my best, why am I mad? Why do I win and then I'm still kind of like mad? And like, there's just little things, being a super competitive person. As I read that book, it was like, oh, it all makes sense. This is how my mind works. Yeah. So for me, as far as, there was no option for me to fail. Like, I can't, like, I'm not allowed to. And something might not work, but then I'm going to transition to something else. I'm going to find it. So that was kind of how this transition has been going since COVID started.
Wow, man.
Before you jump into that, I want to highlight something that we call them travelers because we believe that we're all on a journey. The travelers, if you're listening, he was in Vegas for a birthday party to transition over to the Pacific East about to actually go work. The hotel tells him in 3 days you got to get out. Pandemic is getting real. He doesn't fly back home and say, let me figure it out. You say, there, I start building a virtual program. So everybody, when the pandemic hit, people were just like, I watch people, and I'm not disrespecting nobody that didn't do it like how you did it. I watch a lot of people, when the pandemic hit, all they thought was, oh my gosh, it's the end of I can't do this, I can't do that. Did not understand to just tackle it head on. And also you said one thing too, you had your rainy day fund. So you knew, hey, if this failed, which your failure is different from how you look at it of everybody else, then I have that to fall back on to pivot to something else. So I want people to really listen to that and put that as part of, if you don't take nothing away, which there's a lot of gems here, put that in your toolbox.
Yeah.
I've learned that, like, in those times when everything is going bad and everything's going down, and this is like the finance in with the stock market back in March.
Correct.
Crashed.
Yes.
Cryptocurrency crashed.
I bought.
Yes, exactly. I did too. I absolutely. What did Warren Buffett say? Be greedy when others are scared. Be scared when others are greedy. And it's the same thing as far as the opportunity, because as long as you're positioned right and it's your passion, when those bad times, those black swan events happen, I just think of companies like Zoom. Like, we're on Zoom right now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, a couple years ago, what is Zoom?
Exactly.
Now it's like the biggest thing in the world. But that's because they positioned for when it all went bad. So as long as you are positioned from, and I said the rainy day fund, this is something that I do. I tax myself. I tax my income. Uncle Sam wants his, so does future me. Future me wants mine too. So I take my income for future me.
Yes.
Now I'm touching it. It goes to future me. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So just doing that sort of thing and making sure that you're always positioned. And when times are going down, your competition is absolutely panicking. So if you can keep your eyes clear and your heart full, there's going to be massive opportunity.
Yeah, dude. Listen, man, I got to affirm you. And I know you don't need this. You probably got plenty of testimonials, but one of my little cousins, man, is a fanatic Tumblr. I was talking to her mother, my cousin, and she said that, hey, one thing I love about what Alvin produces is getting her to believe that she can do it. You know, so when you said that, you have ability to, that's the first thing. I said, what is it about some special technique? She's like, no, he just gets them to believe that they're capable of doing it, get beyond their mind, that mental block in their mind. So, and then as a testament to your virtual, right? So I'm running a program as well on the baseball end, right? And my partner, he was like, hey, Rick, a parent just came over and showed me this. And I was like, what is it? He said, man, these girls are doing tumbling. And there's probably around over 100, 200 them at one time on the virtual platform. And this guy, Tumble Doctor, and our art joint is called the Hit Doctor, right? So that's why I really so it's like Tumble Doctor is sitting there coaching them virtually over 100 kids. I was like, what? So that's where I said, yo, Marlon, we got to find this guy, see what he's doing, because he is impacting lives, man, in a real way. So, man, kudos to you. Appreciate everything that you're doing, dude, in this space, man, because it's really making a difference. And I'm listening to your journey, from gymnastics to getting in school, going the whole scientific route, then going to medical school, shifting to finance and business. And now you're here. It's like, dude, every last stop on your journey prepared you for this moment right here. I'm listening to how you're talking about your finances. If you didn't go in the finance world and have that mindset, what to do, like, dude, like it's adding so much more value to what you're able to offer right now, man. And if you could take a snapshot right now, or take a snapshot picture of your life right now, and went back to that kid at maybe right before you're going to college, man. Like, what would you say to him? Like, you could bring one like Polaroid with you and be like, "Yo, check this out," and got 5 minutes with him. Like, what would you share with him?
First thing I would tell him is, don't save your money after you spend it. Spend your money after you save it. That'd be the first thing that I would tell him. The second thing that I would tell him is 99.9% of the people that you encounter are going to be distractions from where you want to go. And it sounds like kind of cruel and mean, but just straight up, like I've met thousands of people. There was like 9,000 people in my dorm or something crazy like that. I met thousands and thousands of people in college. It was fantastic. I talk to right now on a regular basis, outside of family, 4 or 5 people who add value to my life, who are like, are you on it? Are you doing this? Everything else is a distraction. So I would just make sure that, be friendly to everybody, but befriend few. And then the last one I would tell myself is take your time. One thing that I thought when I went to college, it was like pushed on me is graduate in 4 years, get out of there in 4 years. There were so many things that I did study abroad twice. It was probably one of the best things I ever did. But there were so many other activities and things that I could have done if I would have gone 5 years. So, and then when it comes down to it, like, does it matter if you graduate at 22 or 23, 24? You know what I mean? As long as you're staying focused and you're working with passion, who cares, honestly? Because at that point, you're in the later half of your life. Now, all the things that used to matter. I remember being in 8th grade and trying to talk to a girl in 10th grade. It was a big deal.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, oh, if you talk to a woman that's 2 years older than you, everybody's like, and? Who cares? So just valuing my time and taking my time and just, watching my decisions. Yeah, no doubt. That would be the big three.
I love it. Go ahead, Mark.
Ricky and I don't believe in New Year's resolution, but you kind of, I always say that somebody, you must be open to learn. I like the approach you took when it comes to the phases of your life, because a lot of people, they make a New Year's resolution and their next year's New Year's resolution doesn't tie in with this year's.
X, yes.
Right? So what you said is like, hey, you did 3 short-term goals, which is, hey, that is going to be in 2021. But in 2022, those goals that you set for 2022 are already preset. You know that they're going to tie into 2021s. Because now you have people just making arbitrary goals and nothing tying together, and then they wonder why every year it feels like they're starting all over. I like that approach when it comes to
absolutely. And I love,
go ahead.
I love you guys. It's the Success Journey show. Yes. Because one of the things, I got this from like Nipsey Hussle. He always says the marathon continues.
Correct.
And that's one thing that I tell people all the time. Life is not a race. Like whoever gets there to the end point the fastest probably isn't fulfilled. Life is a marathon, and it's not like, who cares if you trip? This is a journey, and as long as you're enjoying that journey and you're within the lane of passion, you're gonna have a blast, no doubt.
Blast, man. Hey, I got to shout out my boy E.T. because you did mention his name, and you did say you went to Michigan State, and I was like, okay, wait a minute, does he know Eric being out there? But yeah, man, what are some things or other motivators or motivational speakers or either other books that you read that kind of keep you hyped and focused on your journey?
Okay, so Let me show everybody. This should, I don't know if you guys seen the TikTok, like things that should be illegal. This should be illegal. Laws of Success by Napoleon Hill.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, this was kind of made illegal. Henry Ford and a couple other, I think maybe one of the Rockefellers, they tried to get rid of this book. So they actually came out with another version that was watered down. Henry Ford said this was too powerful for people. So if you read this book and study this book harder than you've ever studied anything,
I've never even seen that book, man.
Oh my goodness. I tell people this all the time. Like, at least prior to COVID, people flew me around the world first class to teach me how to flip. Like, this is, I'm not performing surgery. Like, I'm not doing anything crazy. But this is the secret. So that's what I would tell everybody. And there's two versions. You can get the blue back version. This is the real one. Don't get the other version. Yeah. So I would say this. And then there's one movie that I like to tell people about. It's called Free Solo. Free Solo is about a guy who climbs El Cap in Yosemite National Park without any ropes or anything. And just watching that video or that movie, it's like a documentary, best documentary I've ever seen in my life. He goes through all the range of emotions that any entrepreneur, anybody pursuing a dream or a goal will go through. And watching how he handles them, it just grants you a completely different perspective.
Man, those are golden, man. I actually wrote all them down, looked them all up, bookmarked them while you were saying them. So yeah. You guys ain't going to get it. I know I am. I appreciate that. Man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We could listen. You better tell me. You know how you say you could lose when you're doing stuff you love, you lose time. You better stop me because we'll be on this thing. It'll be a marathon. All right, because just listen. I like. You just don't know how I love people that when they have that energy and they love what they're doing, and also some people just feel like, oh, I love it, so I do it. But the science behind it, like Ricky's saying, you understand anatomy, you understand business, and then you also understand searching for more information, not just stopping, not just capping off yourself. So the thing about it is, a lot of people a lot of people are gonna hear this, but like you say, just like how you played the numbers game when that 30,000 gems, there's gonna be 30,000 people that hear this, and the same ratio probably is gonna be the one that it affects because of the application that they're not gonna really take into it.
Yeah. Absolutely, and that's the thing. Like execution. That's what's the key to success? Execution. Every day, execute. No matter what the outcome is, execute. Follow your plan. Yeah, definitely.
Love it. So, man, Alvin, man, we want to make sure that anyone can find you, secure your services. I mean, listen, I follow you on Instagram, and I be watching all your videos like crazy. I don't even admit. I'd be like, dude, I ain't doing that. But I love every single post you put out, dude. I'm just like, yo, that's hot right there. And my wife, my kids looking at it like, yo, you see this, man? You need to be doing that. So how can we help you just spread your message? Can you share this platforms, contact information, all that good stuff?
Absolutely. Okay. Platforms pretty much across the board. At Tumble Doctor, I'm on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. If you would like to get in contact with me, it's tumbledoc@gmail.com. I do not have I know some coaches are obsessed with working with the greatest and the best athletes and all that. That's not what I am concerned with. Give me heart. I don't have to have any skills, none of that. You give me some athletes who are like, you know what, we'll stay here in this gym with this man till we're done. Feel free to reach out. That's one thing, like people are like, oh, well, you got a large following, so you only work with, I work with anybody. It's as long as you have the heart and the desire. TumbleDoctor.com. Yeah.
And I can attest when he said, it's funny, when we were trying to set up this whole interview, it's funny. Remember, I hit you up when it wasn't Ricky. It was me that hit. Well, Ricky hit you up initially, but the late nights. Like, yeah, that was me. I'm like you. So it was like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. I was like, you hit me back like, yo, man, I didn't see your DM from 8 this morning. I'm hitting you back right now, right? And I'm like, yo, what's up? And then you're like, yo, what? You answered me? I was like,
Love it. That's that grind.
Yeah, that's that grind, man.
Oh yes.
That's that grind.
Oh yes.
And are you one last? Are you still in the Philly area, or do you travel around more? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I'm still in Philly. Once we get a nice substantial drop in cases, then I'll be back traveling around. But right now, yeah, I'm in Philly. Yep.
And man, you're only an hour from me, man. So definitely got to connect.
Oh, we got a link. Yeah, we got to make that happen.
Yeah, we got a link.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh, absolutely.
You got to flip. I'll break a bone or two.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, got you.
But listen, Alvin, man, we appreciate your time. Appreciate you joining us. And we just want to wish you all the best. Many blessings, man, as you go and impact the world through your passion, through your love, man. And all of our travelers that are out there, we want to thank you again for tuning in for another week of the Success Journey Show. Like we say every single week, go to our website, go and check out our previous guest. Also, leave a review or a comment on any platform out there. We left a challenge out there. If you don't find us on a platform, you get a free T-shirt. Dream, drive, discipline, diligence.
We gotta send one to you, boy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yes. Definitely.
But check it out, guys. We thank you again. We love you. Thank you for traveling with us, and we'll see you next week at the same time on the Success Journey Show. All right, everyone. Peace.
Hey, one love.
You've been listening to the Success Journey Show, where your dreams, drive, determination, and diligence are the foundation to success. For more information, check out thesuccessjourneyshow.com. The Journey Squad is here helping you to your destination.